My peoples. Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach just got a lot more interesting. That outcome, we got to talk about it because there's a major update and everything can literally change. This outcome may be overturned. We got to talk about that. The New York State Athletic Commission has already said that they're reviewing the outcome of Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach. Shout out to the person who showed up in here. It's some serious update, my guy. Some serious updates which suggest that this fight outcome may actually be overturned. We got to talk about that. Yesterday, I mentioned that to some people, and they say, oh, no way. There's no possible way that this outcome could be overturned. And I'm just going to remind everybody. I'm waiting for more people to show up, but I'm going to remind everybody. Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia was overturned. That's the reason why Devin Haney is undefeated right now. You know, it was reviewed. They decided that Ryan Garcia allegedly was on PEDs, and they overturned the outcome. And that's why the fight was switched to a no contest, and Devin Haney still undefeated. What happens in this case? What's good, Cole? Appreciate you dropping in, my brother. We're going to be talking about this update. You know, you may have seen the video where I'm talking about it. The whole situation with Tank Davis and Lamont Roach. Now you have the news. Exactly, there you have it. Now we have the New York State Athletic Commission reviewing the outcome. There's some people who have hit me up privately and told me that the outcome is not going to be overturned. I believe that there's a possibility that it is changed, because we all know already that Tank Davis took that knee and there was no point deduction. We already know that 2 of the judges' scorecard had the fight as a draw. Therefore, if that point deduction goes into effect, Lamont Roach won the fight. If that point deduction goes into effect, Lamont Roach is going to be a 2-division champion, and he's going to be the first person to ever beat Tank Davis. He's going to become... his stock already went way up based off of that performance. But if that decision is overturned, Lamont Roach is about to go from being a star to being a superstar. He may just become the first guy to officially beat Tank Davis. So the glory that they robbed him of on fight night on Saturday, he may actually get justice for that. Now, I know that Tank Davis fans don't want that to happen. Tank Davis fans like, nah. Somebody actually hit me up and told me, no, that they can't overturn it because Tank told them why he took a knee. And I try to explain to him, my brother, just because Tank told him why he took a knee, it doesn't mean that he's allowed to break the rules. On that night, the referee handled the situation like, okay, you're the big star, you can do that, and no problem. But now the referee's under review. The referee's decision is under review. Shout out to King of Baltimore. What's the deal, my brother? Appreciate you dropping in. So, all I'm saying is that we seen Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney get overturned because they decided, you know what? Ryan Garcia allegedly was using PEDs, So the fight outcome based off of that was overturned. So now we're looking at Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach. It's not the same situation. It's not related to PEDs. However, a wrongful decision was made by the referee. By the way, yesterday, my peoples, when I went live, there was a Tank Davis fan who was asking me for the rules. He was like, show me the rules. Show me the rules. Look at the rules right here, my peoples. Check it out. If you can see the rules, it says if a fighter takes a knee, that is an automatic point deduction. That's actually written into the rules, my peoples. The referee dropped the ball. By not giving Tank a standing 8 count, he dropped the ball because that would have made round number 9 a 10-8 round in Roach's favor. That right there brings him to win the fight on 2 of the scorecards. Now you tell me, does it make me a hater that I'm focusing on the rules and that I'm pointing out that the referee dropped the ball? Or does it just shows that I'm defending the integrity of the sport of boxing? My peoples, the integrity of the sport of boxing is more important than being a fan of one fighter. When you're a fan of one fighter, you prefer to protect him over protecting the sport. And I'm going to tell you why the integrity is so important, my peoples. We as fans have to believe that this fight is real, that this outcome is real, that the competition is fair. We supposed to believe that. That's what makes a sport competitive. But if you're going to decide who wins or who loses based off of who's the bigger star, then it's not fair competition. Then we're going to see it like, well, this is rigged. If you decide who wins or who loses, this is rigged. And when a sport is considered to be rigged, it loses credibility. We don't want boxing to lose credibility. Boxing is the greatest combat sport that there is and that there ever was. But the business of boxing can take that away from us. And we can't allow it. So when I see that the New York State Athletic Commission is reviewing it, they're doing the right thing. You see? Tyrone Manor. Roach won that one for sure. And I'm going to tell you something. Even without the knockdown, even without the knee, Roach should have won that fight. He should have won. They try to cook the scorecards so that Tank won't take that loss. But now, the New York Athletic Commission is reviewing it. And Tyrone, you're right, my brother. Tank knows he lost that fight. Yo, Tank has never given anybody a rematch. And at the end of this fight, the first thing that he said, I want a rematch. Why exactly do you want a rematch if you think you won? My peoples, I appreciate anybody who hit that like button. I see a couple of people subscribe to the channel already. Wow. Salute, my peoples. People come through and show me love, support me. I appreciate it, my peoples. So I ask you guys that question right now. I'm asking you. Do you think, my peoples, salute Tyrone, bam, do you think that this fight outcome is going to be overturned? Y'all tell me, y'all opinion. King of B-More, appreciate it, my brother. Y'all already know what it is, man. Hit that like button, subscribe. Let's do this. Now, I would like to see a rematch between Tank Davis and Lamont Roach. But let's remember that if this decision is overturned, Lamont Roach is going to become the 135 division champion. And Tank Davis is going to have a loss on his record. You know what that means? They didn't have a rematch clause, my peoples. They didn't have a rematch clause. What that means is that Lamont Roach, as a champion, he's gonna be the A side in the negotiations. He's gonna be able to tell Tank Davis, yo, you could get a rematch under my terms now. If the rematch is not under my terms, I'll go fight somebody else. Lamont Roach just became a huge star if he get that decision overturned. Shakur Stevenson already says, I'll give you a title shot. He will be able to fight anybody he wants, my peoples. You see, T-Man Talks, you're saying they will never overturn that decision. All right. And Campasa Gregorius, you're saying Tank will win for the rematch. I respect that. They did have a rematch clause. 85 Sports Talk. To be honest, I've never seen anywhere or heard anywhere that they had a rematch clause. I guess, I have to do my own research because I would be guessing. But I did not hear anywhere where they said that there's a rematch clause. Christian V asking me what race am I? I'm Dominican, my brother. But if we say race, I'm black. Because Dominican is a nationality, right? So I would say I'm black. I'm a black man. Which big fight was overturned? Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney was overturned just last year, my brother. If you remember, the outcome of that fight was Ryan Garcia winning and Devin losing. And it was overturned into a no contest, and now Devin Haney went back to being undefeated. So what I say to you is, my brothers and my sisters, if the New York State Athletic Commission is reviewing this fight and they're saying the knee, I want you to listen to this, my people, and you can look it up yourself. The knee that Tank Davis took was reviewable, but they did not review it as an instant replay because they had some type of technical glitch, so they allowed the referee to make that judgment call. However, the referee dropped the ball, my peoples. He dropped the ball. The rules stipulate that if you take a knee, that's an automatic 8 count. Look, my peoples, I think this fight should be a no contest. Nah, my brother, it should not be a no contest because the review means that if you miss the point deduction and they overturn that point deduction, Lamont Roach wins on 2 of the cards. 2 of the cards. And look, the rules are very clear, my people. The rules are very clear on this. If you take a knee, that is an automatic point deduction, automatic standing 8 count. That did not happen, my brothers and sisters. That did not happen. So if they miss that point deduction and they say, you know what? Let's give them that point. That's it. That's it. Right then and there, Lamont Roach is winning on 2 of the cards. On 2 cards, he's winning. So, London Marcus says, yeah, but it's completely unfair if they give the fight to Roach. Who's to say Tank would have more urgency to stop Roach then? That'll be unfair. I respect your opinion, my brother. I respect that. However, you have to take into account the fight ended up as a draw. That draw means that with the point deduction, Lamont Roach wins. Claymore Rain, what's the deal, my brother? Appreciate you dropping in. Yo, everybody who's up in here, Claymore Rain is one of the people that I know that's the most knowledgeable when it comes to boxing. So go to Claymore Rain's YouTube channel and subscribe, my people. Get that real boxing content over there as well. Show some love. Like I said, my people, when the New York State Athletic Commission decides to review this fight, it can be overturned. I'm not a psychic. You know what I'm saying? But all I'm telling you is, just last year, We saw Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney get overturned after Ryan Garcia won that fight. Why? Because they reviewed it. They decided that he allegedly used PEDs and it was overturned. So now the athletic commission is saying, yo, wait a minute. The referee dropped the ball when Tank Davis took a knee. He didn't take the correct action. And that's why I tell everybody, just look at what the rules say. The rules stipulate that if you voluntarily take a knee, that is an automatic point deduction. So if you go by the rules, they should overturn it. They should, without a doubt, overturn it. There's no question. There's really nothing to argue about. We're talking about the rules. And the rules is something that keeps the integrity of the sport, my people. Yesterday, somebody told me, well, Tank Davis, he gave a good reason why he took a knee. My peoples, that affects the integrity of the sport. If you could just take a knee whenever you want, that's going to affect the sport, my people. You imagine fighters in the middle of a fight and they realize, yo, this guy's hurting me, taking a step back and taking a knee and pausing the action so they could take a break. Imagine that. That would ruin the sport of boxing. If you could just take a knee whenever you wanted to because you got a good excuse, that would ruin the sport of boxing, my people. Like Tank literally took a timeout. He took a timeout. If fighters could just take a timeout with a valid excuse, come on, my brother. You're ruining the sport of boxing right then and there. And we have to take this into account. If you've been watching boxing long enough, I'm pretty sure you've seen fighters get disqualified for turning their back on their opponent. You walk away from your opponent and the referee, you could get disqualified, B. The referee would have been justified if he chose to disqualify Tank even when his corner went on the apron to wipe his face mid-round. You can't do that. You can't do that, my peoples. You can't just do whatever you want in the middle of a round. So at the end of the day, saying that we should follow the rules is not hating, my peoples. I keep getting a lot of folks telling me, oh, you hating on Tank. You wanted him to lose. I'm going to remind y'all that I actually predicted that Tank Davis was going to knock Lamont Roach out. You think somebody wants to be wrong in their prediction? Come on now. What's good, Bang Bang Boogie? Bam. You think somebody wants to predict a fight and be wrong? If most of my predictions are accurate, yo, I'm looking forward to be right. I'm looking forward to my predictions being 100% accurate. I don't get all of them right. Nobody does. And if I'm wrong, I have to accept it. I was wrong. Tank Davis got beat by Lamont Roach. And I felt like they cooked those scorecards at the end of the fight. You could see my live. I was telling people, yo, wait a minute. Why they taking so long to say the decision? Why when the fight finished, when that last bell rang, it took a while. It took a minute, yo. Claymore Rain. It's funny how last week Turkey Al-Sheikh was clearly violating rules, which, by the way, hasn't been proven to have violated. But this week, a referee violated the guidelines he's been hired to enforce. That's a fact. That's a fact. And I actually called out His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh for what he did. Like, how do you go to a fighter, give them insider information, because the fighters, they don't know what the scores are. They can assume, your corner can assume, oh, you're losing, you're winning. But he gave them specific scores. You're down 2 rounds. You can't do that. That's cheating. That's cheating. But I don't know if there's a rule that prevents him from doing that. But he's still affecting the integrity of the sport. Because, and I said this to everybody, y'all think about this. Turkey Al Sheikh, His Excellency, is the most powerful person in the arena. If he goes to a fighter and is giving him instructions, yo, the judges are seeing this. You don't think that can sway the judges' opinion? That can affect how the judges are gonna score the rounds when they know the guy with all the money, the guy running this whole thing, wants that fighter to win? Matter of fact, most people watching that fight saw Adames winning. Yet we saw the outcome. After His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh said that Shiraz was losing on 2 rounds, the fight ended up with a draw. So the integrity of the sport, my people, is important. And when that happened, and I also said this before, a lot of boxing fans within the last years have left to MMA and bare knuckle. Why? Because they tired of this, my peoples. They tired of seeing a fight where we know who won, but the guy doesn't walk out of there with the W. Lamont Roach got robbed, boxing fans got robbed, and boxing took a L. That's how I see it. And you have to protect the integrity of the sport of boxing. Now, Tyrone Mann are saying, do you think this was a money grab? It could have been. I don't know. I'm not really into conspiracies, but it could have been. I don't sell conspiracies to anybody. But I thought it was suspect that the fight ended, and it took a while before they rendered that decision. It made me think, yo, did somebody reach out and say, yo, them cars need to be cooked? I felt like the cars was cooked. But I can't claim that because I don't know. That's just an assumption of mine. Claymore Rain, most definitely what happened in Saudi was inappropriate. And like you held Turkey accountable, but we must consistently across the board to maintain the integrity of the sport. I agree with you 100%. That's why I go a lot back and forth with Tank Davis fans, because I feel like they put Tank Davis ahead of the integrity of the sport. They put Tank Davis, defend him no matter what. And I don't agree with that. I'm a fan of certain fighters as well. But if I feel like they lost, if I feel like they're wrong, I will speak up. Like, let me give you an example, my peoples. Teofimo Lopez, I was a huge fan of his. One of my favorite fighters. But guess what? All that stuff with the banana, with the watermelon, calling people monkeys, he's done it so many times that he's already convinced me that he's a racist. I can't rock with him no more. Now, I'm dying to watch him get his ass whooped. That's it. I'm no longer supporting him. So, the sport of boxing and the integrity and the respect, to me, is a lot more important than any one fighter. You could be my favorite fighter in the world, but if you doing some goofy ass stuff, I'm not rocking with you. I'm not defending you. I don't look at it like I gotta defend no matter what. Nah, I don't do those. I'ma call it how I see it every single time. And you know what? I lose a lot of followers. I lose a lot of subscribers because I call it how I see it. I don't care. I don't care. I'ma say it how I see it. And y'all see me, those who know me know I don't disrespect nobody. You can even go in my comments and disrespect me. The most I'll do is I'll ignore you. Because I'm not into the business of disrespecting people. That's not my thing. Claymore Rain, not to mention Calvin touching Tank during the fight, is also grounds for disqualification. There's so many moving parts to this circus show. We saw on that. My brother, I said that yesterday, the day before. Like, first of all, and I'm going to talk about those moving parts in that circus that you addressed. First of all, he took a knee. Second of all, he turned his back on his opponent and the referee and walked away. That could have been a DQ. Then he goes to the corner, sticks his head out of the ring. That could have been a DQ right there. You quit. And then his coach goes on the apron and wipe his face in the mid-round. Like, they handle that like it was a sparring session. I seen that happen in a gym, where somebody gets something in their eye and they say, oh, time out, hold on. Go to the corner. But we literally watched Tank Davis take a timeout. And the referee was just watching, not doing, like, what is your job? What are you supposed to be doing? The referee is supposed to control, make sure everything stays in order. Tank was out of order. His coach was out of order. And the referee did nothing about it. So now it's under review. Let's see how it's going to play out. Let's see that. Let's see how that's going to play out. Because I believe that the athletic commission has the possibility to make it right, to fix it. Reynaldo Ortiz, once Tank Davis didn't knock Lamont Roach out in the 4th or 6th round, I knew something wasn't right. So I gotta say this, my people. This is what I saw in that fight. Tank Davis started how he usually starts. He's a slow starter, and later he's gonna pick up the pace and knock you out. If you look at Tank Davis versus Frank the Ghost Martin, he lost the first 3 rounds on all 3 judges' scorecards. But that really didn't matter because he was gonna knock him out down the line. He does it all the time. Tank loses rounds early on. And in this fight, it was no different. The first half of the fight, the first 6 rounds, Tank lost most of them. I gave Lamont Roach the first 4 rounds straight. And I think round number 5, I gave it to Tank. But again, if you watch the fight, for the most part, Lamont Roach was chasing Tank around while Tank was backtracking, using lateral movement, and once in a while, attempting a hard counterpunch. And I want to ask you something, my peoples. Have you ever seen somebody counterpunch Tank Davis's counterpunch? Because we saw that with Lamont Roach. That was crazy. That's when I knew we was watching something different. Lamont Roach didn't fight Tank Davis by running around. Tank Davis wasn't chasing Lamont Roach around all night long. Nah. This man stood there toe-to-toe with Tank Davis and traded leather. Who we seen do that? The only one that did that was Pitbull Cruz. And he went the distance with Tank. Well, Lamont Roach, he chased Tank around for the whole fight. And whenever Tank stopped, held his ground to counterpunch, Lamont Roach was ready for that. Kept them hands up. Because we already know, with Tank Davis, hands down, man down. It's a wrap. Yo, Tank Davis was ready. Lamont Roach was ready for that smoke. And he went toe-to-toe with Tank Davis. Every time Tank stood his ground, Lamont Roach stood right there with him and traded blows. How many times did you see Lamont Roach where Tank Davis countered him with that knockout left hand, boom, and Lamont slipped it or partially blocked it and returned fire with a straight right hand, boom, and caught Tank flush. We just never seen that before. And by the time, if you watch the fight, my peoples, I'm not making this up. By the time it got to the 8th round, the 9th round, yo, you could see the desperation in Tank Davis's corner. You could see how they was telling him, yo, step it up, let your hands go. You could see that they was desperate already. So everything that was going on suggested that Lamont Roach was winning this fight. In my opinion, it should have been 8 rounds to Lamont Roach. 8. It should have been 8-4. Without the knockdown, I got Lamont Roach winning. Without it. That's my humble opinion, my peoples. Now, I want to know, when it comes to the people that are saying Tank Davis did enough to win or that it should have been a draw, how do you justify it when you have somebody chasing you the whole night and trading and winning exchanges with you toe-to-toe? Ryan Jackson, that was a good fight. These guys been fighting each other for years. They know what this fight was going to be. So I don't think, my brother, and I respect your opinion, Ryan Jackson. I don't think it's fair to say that they've been fighting for years, because they fought twice as amateurs. They fought two times as amateurs when they were literally teenagers. They never fought ever since. They haven't been fighting for years. They never fought as professionals. Now, the one thing is, they know each other. They know their style. But if you watch this fight, clearly Tank Davis thought that he was going to be able to knock him out. The usual slow start that we see from Tank Davis. And then later in the fight, he started picking up the pace and trying to... he was trying so hard to catch Lamont with that counter right hand. The same right hand that he knocked out a lot of people with. And he just couldn't do it. Lamont Roach was prepared for it. Them hands never went down. He was ready. Claymore Rain. I think clearly Tank wasn't focused. In hindsight, shows from Tank's team and training camp and antics translate into the ring. Hopefully Tank uses his experience to dial in. Claymore, something that I find interesting, I don't know if this is true. Maybe you can confirm this if you heard anything about that. I know you got a lot of people on the inside. But I heard that Coach Cal is dealing with some health issues. I'm not going to say specifically what right now, because I don't know that for a fact. But I heard that Coach Cal is dealing with some health issues, and that's why he took a secondary, position in this training camp. And that definitely could have affected how it all played out, how it unfolded. So I asked you, my brother, have you heard anything about Coach Cal's health, and if it's all good, or if there's something going on there? Because that's something that I really haven't been able to confirm. Listen, Coach Cal has been with Tank since he was an amateur, a kid, a little boy. And you're right. That's something that can affect a fighter. You're going to bring in somebody to lead the training camp who's never done that in your team. That communication, that chemistry is not going to be the same. I'm not sure, but without a doubt, something is happening in the camp. I've heard about health, and I've heard about indifference in the ranks. Okay, I hear you. That's something that it may come out later on, but I did hear that Coach Cal is dealing with some health issues. We may or may not find out what's really going on down the line, but there's something there. Maybe there's some friction as well. Sosa Family Gang. Tank finally found someone who took it to his ass. Toma, primo. Yo, Tank Davis found that guy. Ryan Jackson. That's what I'm saying, bro. Tank know what Lamont Roach was about, and that's what Tank wants to do. Bring his talent to the big stage. Rizzle DVG Productions. I think Roach put in the right work in the gym, and I agree with you, my brother. Lamont Roach put that work in, but I would say they had the perfect game plan for Tank Davis, and they laid out the blueprint. They laid out the blueprint of how you beat somebody like Tank Davis. Number one, we already knew if you're going to beat Tank Davis, you got to have a fast start and steal those early rounds, because Tank Davis, he's a very slow starter. I guarantee you, if you look at his last 5 fights, without counting this one, Tank lost at least 3 of the first 5 rounds in most of the cards. He's a slow starter, but that's by design. He takes his time, he figures you out, he starts timing you, and eventually, boom, he gets you out of it. Claymore Rain. Yes, I think we definitely need to make sure we're celebrating Roach just being the better fighter on March 1st. I agree with you 100%, my brother. We got to give Lamont Roach his flowers. This guy went in there with the perfect game plan, laid out the blueprint to fight Tank. And the one thing that I keep telling people, man, this guy, he didn't run around. He didn't win via his footwork. Tank wasn't chasing him around all night. He didn't make it a boring fight because some people would have said, oh, that was boring. He ran around. Tank had to chase him. This guy went toe to toe with the hardest puncher in the 135 division. Imagine that, bro. Claymore Rain. What do you think about Shakur offering the fight to Roach if Tank doesn't give him a rematch? I love that fight. First of all, I love Shakur Stevenson's energy because you're seeing this guy just outbox, outwork Tank Davis, and you're saying, yo, come and holler at me. If he don't give you an opportunity, I'll give you an opportunity. And I love it. And styles make fights. I believe that Lamont Roach's style is going to make Shakur have to pull out his full arsenal. You know, Lamont Roach is the type of fighter that he's going to make you fight back. You're not going to be able to, Shakur's not going to, have an easy night where he's using the footwork and outpointing this guy easily. I think Lamont Roach will get everything out of him, and we'll see the best version of Shakur as well as the best version of Lamont Roach. I would love to see that fight. I want to point out something else, Claymore. I haven't seen anything about a rematch clause with Tank Davis and Lamont Roach. Have you seen anything indicating that there was a rematch clause? Because if this decision is overturned and Lamont Roach now becomes the champion in the 135 division, without a rematch clause, he doesn't even have to rematch Tank. He can now tell Tank, yo, I'm going to be the A side. I'm going to get most of the money, or you can't get a rematch. I got Shakur ready to give me a title shot where I can go unified titles, and I'm going to have all types of options. Because if this decision is overturned, Lamont Roach is going to go, his stock, we already know his stock is way up due to that performance. But if that decision is overturned and he becomes a 2-division champion and the first fighter to beat Tank Davis, he's going to become a superstar instantly. Instantly. So it's a family gang. Roach and Shakur going to be good. But Keyshawn Davis needs to fight Shakur first. My brother, I don't think we'll ever see it. Just because Keyshawn Davis, they're so close, and they both say, yo, I'm never going to fight him. I don't think it's going to happen. Pierre Dallier, my bad, my brother, if I'm pronouncing it wrong. I do believe that this decision can be overturned. I believe that it can. And when I made my prediction, I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to tell you all right now. I believe this decision is going to be overturned. That's what I believe. Claymore Rain, Roach seems to be indicating that. I would figure if Tank lost, he would have a rematch clause. But if it says a draw, I don't know that Tank has any obligations to rematch Roach. You're right, my brother. Now, right after the fight, Tank did say, I want a rematch. And I think that indicates that deep down inside he knows he lost. Because why do you want a rematch? You're the champion. If it's a draw, you can just move on to the next one. And you're right about that. If there's a rematch clause and it's a draw, he doesn't have to rematch him. Let's see how it plays out. Let's see how it plays out if this fight gets overturned. Lamont Roach is about to become a superstar if that happens. You beat the quote-unquote face of boxing. You beat the guy. Look, Sosa family gang, you're saying, but Tank and Roach fought, and they close too, bro. My God, there's absolutely nothing to tell me that they're close. Like, I'm not sure how that came about, my brother, that they're close. They fought twice as amateurs. I don't see, look at the difference. We see Shakur in Keyshawn Davis's fights. We see Keyshawn in Shakur's fights. We see them in training camps together. We see them hanging out together, taking pictures together. They say they like family. I never seen Lamont Roach hanging out with Tank Davis. I never seen them posting pictures together like they cool like that, my brother. It's not the same type of relationship. They respect each other. I know they got respect for each other as fighters. Because of that, they from the same area, but we never seen them hanging out. We never seen Lamont Roach in, watching Tank Davis's fight, showing him support. We never seen Tank Davis backstage in the dressing room with Lamont Roach when Lamont's preparing for a fight. So they definitely don't have the same type of chemistry, the same type of family atmosphere that Shakur and Keyshawn have. That's a different ball game, my brother. We have to see that Keyshawn and Shakur, they like brothers. They act like brothers. They roll together. They be in each other's dressing room when they're gonna fight. You don't see that with Lamont and Tank. Lamont Roach and Tank Davis respect for each other because where they from. They two dudes who came from the bottom, from the same place, and they got that mutual respect for each other. Claymore Rain, they know each other and have seen each other in gyms and in the amateurs. But Shakur and Keyshawn vibe on a brotherly space with a foundation built on mental health. It's a different conversation, my peoples. You see, Claymore Rain hit the nail in the boom, boom, right in the head. What you see going on between Keyshawn and Shakur, that's a different ball game. Them two dudes, they don't want to fight each other. That's the type of love that they got. And Ryan Jackson, that cause they in the same camp. It's not just that they in the same camp, my brother. They together on a personal level. It's personal. When it comes to Lamont Roach and Tank Davis, they know each other. They from the same area. They seen each other around. They respect each other. But them two dudes ain't hanging out together. They not hanging out with each other's family. Yo, Shakur be hanging out with Keyshawn and his family. Keyshawn be hanging out with Shakur and his family. That's a different ball game, my brother. Of course, that Shakur and Keyshawn in the same camp, but that's not the only thing that you see from them. They hanging out on a personal level. Claymore Rain, Keyshawn was thinking about killing himself, and they're in the same camp. Keyshawn is with Bomac, and Shakur is with his grandfather. They don't have to be around each other. They chose to. 100% right. That's why I always, I'll be going to Claymore Rain's YouTube channel because he stays spitting the facts. They don't have the same trainer. They don't need to. They choose to. And what you brought about mental health issues, Keyshawn Davis was in a tough space where he even considered suicide. And I wouldn't just bring this up. I'm only saying it because Keyshawn himself brought it up. He considered killing himself, bro. And it was Shakur Stevenson that was there for him, that was calling him every night, that was uplifting him. That's it. That's a different situation. They're gonna be brothers for life. They're gonna be like this. Ryan Jackson, you telling me I don't know what I'm talking about? I'm just telling you the facts. You can go see the video of Keyshawn Davis saying that he was going through mental health issues, and Shakur Stevenson was calling him every day, was uplifting him, was trying to get him going again. You can see Keyshawn Davis trying to tell you. So I don't know what have I said to lead you to believe that I don't know what I'm talking about. You can look it up yourself and see it. Look at that. They even lived with each other for a little bit. Come on, man. Like that. We're talking about two dudes, man, that's been close. Like Claymore Rain just says, since they was 13, 15 years old. And it's been like this. They've been like family with each other for years already. We're talking about a friendship that goes 10 plus years. So, but I digress. We have to see, is the athletic commission going to overturn the decision? We have to take into account that Tank Davis took a knee and the referee missed it. The referee did not follow the rules of boxing. Like somebody told me yesterday, Jay, what's the rules? What's the rules? That's the rules right there, my brother. The rules say if you take a knee, then there's an automatic point deduction. We already know that the referee did not deduct a point, and we already know that two of the scorecards were a draw. That point deduction means that Lamont Roach won that fight. Lamont Roach is the winner. There's 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 really no getting around it. So just the same way we saw last year, the athletic commission overturn Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney, because I keep reminding y'all, Ryan Garcia walked out of that fight the winner. He went celebrated over the weekend, posted about beating Devin Haney. It was reviewed, and before you know it, the outcome was overturned. No contest. Devin Haney is now currently undefeated. Devin Haney's undefeated because the outcome was overturned. Now, granted, it was a different situation. It was due to PEDs, but a final decision was overturned. So now we know that the referee missed an important call. I believe it can be overturned. It can be overturned. My peoples, I see some of y'all gave me some likes. I see some new subscribers in the channel. I appreciate everybody who subscribed. Y'all already know what it is. We're going to keep calling it how we see it. Claymore Rain, I think they should, because the knockdown is the best case scenario. Like we said earlier, the interaction with Calvin during the fight can result in a disqualification. That would even be worse for Tank Davis if they got disqualified. That would even be worse. But I will rock with them just giving them that point for the knee. Give it to Roach, and the fight outcome is going to be Roach winning on 2 of the cards, and now he's a 2-division champion. And the first guy to beat Tank Davis. He's going to be a superstar. His stock is already way up, but it's going to explode out of the stratosphere. Lamont Roach's stock is going to go above and out of the Milky Way should they overturn this decision. So you're right. Refs make mistakes. You're right. But here's the problem with what you're saying, Ryan Jackson. If Tank Davis won this fight, let's say by unanimous decision, and it's a wide margin, that mistake would have been meaningless. Because if you give him that point back, Tank Davis still won. So there's no point in even reviewing it. But that mistake, my brother, cost Lamont Roach winning this fight. It cost Lamont Roach a title in the 135 division. It cost Lamont Roach millions of dollars. You're the first guy to beat Tank Davis. You know how many companies are going to endorse him? Endorsement deals that he's not going to know what to do with them are going to come his way. Now he can pick and fight whoever he wants. Now he's going to be the A side. That mistake cost a lot of money, my brother. You believe that he has to do more to become a superstar? That's because look how biased. Everything you say is in Tank Davis's favor. You're here to defend Tank no matter what. Cool. I respect that, my brother. You can defend Tank as much as you want. But he got his ass whooped, and this decision might be overturned. And you're going to have to cry me a river. There's not a lot that anybody's going to be able to do when the facts are used to award Lamont Roach a W against Tank Davis. Yo, a lot of people, we won't even admit it. A lot of people arguing about this, they never even seen Lamont Roach fight. A lot of people that was arguing this, y'all never even seen Lamont Roach fight before this. A lot of people never even heard of Lamont Roach. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people never even heard of Lamont Roach until this fight came up. Now everybody knows him. And you know why I like to keep receipts? Why I like to keep receipts? Because they say what you knew before it happens. Show me the receipts where you was betting on Lamont Roach. Show me the receipts where you posted about Lamont Roach, that he's your guy, that you follow. No, I don't see no receipts. I don't see none of that. Everybody's talking about Lamont Roach. Just a week ago, everybody was saying, Tank is fighting this guy. Tank is going to knock this guy out. And I'm one of them. I predicted Tank Davis was going to knock Lamont Roach out in the 8th or before that. But at least I knew who Lamont Roach was. I just felt he didn't have the firepower to keep Tank Davis off of him. Well, he didn't need the firepower. He needed the technique. He needed the ring IQ. He needed the boxing skills. And he put everything on Tank Davis. Ryan Jackson, bro, I'm 59 years old. I've been watching boxing as a child. Respect. I believe that, if you're 59 years old, you've seen a lot of boxing. So you know what? Shame on you, my brother, to want to defend Tank Davis above the rules, man. You should be rocking with me on this one, my brother. You should be defending the integrity of the sport of boxing. Because you've been watching boxing before Tank Davis was around. And you're going to be watching boxing after Tank Davis retires. So why you siding with a fighter when you see that the rules was not followed? You should be rocking with me. I'm 46 years old. I've been watching boxing, following it for over 25 years. And during this whole time, I've never seen a fighter voluntarily take a knee and not get a point deduction. Never seen it happen. Never seen it happen. Yo, Jay, drop link for me. What? My bad. Can you tell me exactly what you mean by drop link for you? What link you want me to drop for you, my brother? And listen to this. Victor Herrera says Roach should have got the win even without the 8 count. I agree with you, my brother. I actually scored 8 rounds for Lamont Roach. 8. Even without the knee, he should have won that fight. Ryan Jackson, you're saying no. I'm not agreeing with someone. Don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I don't know exactly what is it that you're saying. I don't know what I'm talking about. I showed you the rules of boxing. The rules of boxing say that if you take a knee, there's an automatic point deduction. The Athletic State Commission said that they're reviewing that because the referee did not take the right action. You tell me what is it that I don't know that I'm talking about. I'm stating the facts. That's not even my opinion, my brother. Ryan Jackson, the rules of boxing is not my opinion. The Athletic Commission reviewing that the referee did not follow protocol, that's not my opinion. That's a fact. That's a fact. Now, when you say that Lamont Roach and Tank Davis have the same type of friendship that Keyshawn Davis and Shakur Stevenson, you don't know what you're talking about. You definitely don't know what you're talking about. You making stuff up out of thin air. I'm talking facts based on what's going on, and you making stuff up out of thin air because you want to favor Tank Davis. You're trying to favor Tank Davis over anything. Oh, drop the link so you could join me on the live. How? Let me see how I go about doing that, because I've never sent the link for anyone to join me on the live. So honestly, I don't even know how to do that. Let me see if I could do it on here. I don't know how to do it, my brother. I'm gonna have to learn how to do it. I'm gonna have to learn how to do it so that, let me see something. Start pause. Shit, man. Nah, I don't know how to do it, my peoples. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know how to do it. Oh, on Lace. Salute, my G. So check it. I want y'all to tell me what you think should happen. And this is a very simple question. Y'all tell me how you think this should play out. We all know that Tank Davis took a knee and there was no point deduction. We all know this, right? We also know, double tap the screen, let's go. Appreciate it, my boy. Shout out to everybody who hit that like button. Shout out to everybody who subscribed. I see I got some new subscribers up in here. I appreciate you, my peoples. Y'all know what it is, man. We talking facts. We calling it how we see it. So you tell me, my peoples, what is supposed to happen in this case? Tank Davis took a knee. No point was deducted. And now the athletic commission is reviewing the outcome. What do you think should happen, my peoples? What should the athletic commission decide to do? A Boogie 616 says Tank was looking like he did when he sparred Haney. And what I want to say, it's funny that you bring that up because I remember at one of the sparring sessions he got tired and shit. But I want to say this, my peoples. Tank handled that fight in the 9th round like it was a sparring session. He took a timeout, took a knee, turned his back to everybody, went to his corner, got his face wiped. What? That could have been a point deduction. I've seen fighters get disqualified for turning their back on the referee and turning their back on their opponent. Sean Penn. So what should Tank have done? Been blind and get knocked out? He took a knee and didn't get punched. Okay, Sean Penn, that's cool. So that he should receive a point deduction for taking the knee. That's up to you. You decide what you should do. Now you decided that he's blind. I don't know that he was blind, but okay. If you feel like he was blind, my brother, I respect that. Take a knee and take a point deduction. It's not about what Tank should have did. If he felt like he got to take a knee to protect himself, that's cool. It's about what the referee's about to do, my brother. The referee is supposed to follow the rules of boxing and give him a point deduction for that. Now you think about this, my brother, because you decided to believe Tank Davis that he couldn't see, right? You believe him. And I respect that if you believe him. But that means that any fighter in any fight can always just take a knee and pause the action. Boom, take a knee. Yo, wait, I couldn't see. Hold on 1 second. Yo, do you realize, my peoples, I boxed before. Do you realize that your eye could be burning from simply taking a jab in the eye? Because they put Vaseline in your face and you're getting punched. That Vaseline goes on the gloves. You could take a punch in the eye and your eye will be burning. It don't gotta be no damn hair grease for your eye to be burning. He could have just got punched in the eye, literally. But he's not gonna say that, oh, it was the grease from the cornrows. Let me tell you something else, my peoples. I ain't got long hair no more. I got short hair. I used to have long hair, my peoples. And I used to do those same cornrows. Tank Davis did them cornrows on a Wednesday. On Saturdays, 3 days and a half after he did those on Wednesday morning. On Saturday night, it's been damn near 4 days since he did them cornrows. You really think 4 days, 3 days later, you gonna be dripping grease from your hair? That grease been dried up. That shit been dried up in your hair, my peoples. That shit was cap. Now, his eyes could have been burning. Y'all right. His eyes could have been burning. But that wasn't burning from no grease, man. He got punched in the eye. Come on. And anybody who does braids, if you're in this chat right now and you ever done cornrows, 3 days later, tell me that grease hasn't been dried up. Shit been dried up, my people. Wes Clay says Roy Jones hit Montel Griffin in 99 just like that. But Roy hit Griffin and got disqualified. Damn, I felt like, you know what? I felt like they did Roy Jones dirty on that fight. Because Montel, if you think about it, yo, Montel, he looked like he was faking it. He looked like, yo, I'm not going to get up. I'm not going to fight. He looked like he was good, but he just didn't want to fight. He knew Roy was going to whoop that ass, and he found a way to win. And I was pissed, man. Roy Jones took his first L to a bullshit disqualification. Christian Woodfin says, I think Keyshawn needs 2 more fights before Tank. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think he may not. Cause I'ma tell you, my peoples, what I believe when it comes to Tank Davis. Tank is an elite level fighter. Nobody could take that away from him. He's the hardest puncher in the division. Nobody could take that away from him. But they have been very careful and very strategic with selecting his opponents. They've been very careful with that. And I think if you put him up against, the best fighters, the Devin Haney, the Shakur Stevenson, the Teofimo Lopez, he's not just going to destroy them like he's been destroying his opponents, my people. You got to look at how many fighters Tank faced who never fought for a title before they climbed in the ring with Tank Davis. Think about that. Ryan Garcia never fought for a title before facing Tank Davis. Pitbull Cruz never fought for a title before fighting Tank Davis. Rollies Romero never fought for a title before facing Tank. Frank the Ghost Martin never fought for a title before facing Tank. So it's a trend where they pick opponents who never fought for a title. And then those who have fought for a title moved up in weight to fight him. Or there was a rematch clause. So Tank has always had some type of advantage in his fights. All you have to do is take a look at the stats. Take a look at the resume. And see if I'm capping. Or if I'm calling it how it is. So if you take these other guys and you have them do the same thing, they would be undefeated too. They would be undefeated too. If they were fighting guys who've never been at the top, just like Tank Davis, a lot of them will be undefeated too. They take losses because they take risks. Tank Davis ain't took no risk. And even this fight that we see right now with Lamont Roach, if you think about it, that was a cherry pick gone wrong. You took a guy from the 135 division, from the 130 division, who never fought at 135 and had him come up to fight you. And Lamont Roach is not a power puncher. So we know he wasn't going to knock Tank Davis out. That's zero possibility of that happening. Zero. John Parham, if anything, I believe Tank put some kind of spray on his braids before the fight to look pretty. That's a possibility. That's a possibility. But again, no matter what the excuse was or what the reason was for him to take a knee, that automatic point deduction needed to happen. The referee did not do his job. He didn't. He did not do his job. And if you don't do your job and the athletic commission decides to review the outcome, that shit might be overturned. If you notice, Christian Woodfin, if you notice around round 6 or 7, once they got in the pocket, Tank didn't look like he knew what to do. You're right, my brother, because this is the first time that Tank Davis in his whole career is getting counterpunched. Like, yo, I swear to God, my peoples, you just have to look at it again. This happened so many times where Tank Davis is just sitting there waiting to counterpunch with that knockout punch, the same knockout punch that he took out Rolly with, waiting for it. And when he finally make you miss and try to make you pay, yo, Lamont Roach blocked it and boom, counterpunch. Lamont Roach was counterpunching Tank Davis's counterpunch. We never seen that before. We never seen a fighter go toe-to-toe with Tank Davis and counterpunch him. And you're right, John Parham. After he took a knee, there should have been a sense of urgency, but he just couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it. QT, Tank isn't matched with high IQ fighters. Today, the IQ fighters he fought were Roach and Gamboa. And look how those fights went. And by the way, Gamboa was damn near 40 years old. Gamboa was washed when he faced Tank Davis. So I like the fact that you bring that up. And notice, a lot of people say, look at Canelo Alvarez. He don't like to fight slick boxers. But look at Tank Davis. Yo, most of his resume is fighters from south of the border, Mexican, Guadalajara, and all them countries over there. And it's fighters who just rock 'em, sock 'em, stand there and just, throw punches, get hit, throw punches, and let's see what happens. But the guys with the high ring IQ, the guys who have the footwork, the guys who have that movement, Tank don't fight them type of guys. Tank didn't cherry pick. He brought Lamont to center stage and get him off Pro Box to the big show. You lost. What does bringing him to the center stage got anything to do with the fact that you brought a guy from the 130 division to the 135 division? You keep trying to sell this thing that Tank Davis gave him a shot. Giving him a shot doesn't mean that he was supposed to beat him. Tank Davis was a 20-1 underdog. You lost. Tank Davis was the favorite by 20-1. You lost. Because you're a Tank Davis fan and all you want to do is defend him. A 20-1 underdog and you end up with a draw? That's insane. Yo, a 20-1 underdog, you're supposed to knock him out like in 3 rounds. And the funny thing is that people that are saying Tank Davis just giving him an opportunity, brought him to the big stage. So what does that even mean? That he brought him to the big stage to lose? Come on now. He brought him to the big stage. That was a cherry pick gone wrong and you can't handle it. The betting odds suggest that it's a cherry pick. A 20-1 underdog is a cherry pick, bro. Do you know how the betting odds work? Do you think they just guess? The betting odds work. If Tank was to fight somebody like Shakur Stevenson, he's not going to be a 20-1 underdog against Tank. The odds are going to be super close. If he fights Teofimo Lopez, he's not going to be a 20-1 favorite. This man picked a 20-1 underdog to fight him, and you saying he just did it to help his buddy go on the big stage. Man, you sound like a fanboy. You too old for this, brother. You've been following boxing too long. You talking about y'all really don't get it. You really don't get it because you're here to defend Tank Davis. You're here to fight for Tank Davis's honor. Meanwhile, he's picking 20-1 underdogs to fight him. Come on now. Who brings a guy from a lower division, a 20-1 underdog, who doesn't have a power punch, and you think it's not a cherry? Lamont Roach is a cherry pick gone wrong. They said Lamont told you. Lamont ain't saying nothing but I beat that man ass. Lamont Roach told you he beat him, but you don't want to believe him. When you decide to believe Lamont Roach, he told you he beat that ass. And my peoples, y'all know what's funny? In round number 11 or round number 12, Lamont Roach was smiling like, yeah, got you. And Tank Davis told him, they're not going to give you this. You're not going to win this fight. You're not winning. And Lamont Roach said, yo, he told me that. And I was like, damn, why you say that? And Tank told him, we're not going to give it to you. So Ryan Jackson, Lamont Roach told you that he won the fight. Lamont Roach told you that Tank Davis said the judges are going to give it to him. When do you listen to Lamont Roach? Man, listen. You've been following boxing too long to play fanboy. Lamont told you what he did for him. He gave him a title shot. He gave him a title shot and was planning on beating his ass, and he couldn't do it. Thought he could knock him out, couldn't do it. And now the outcome may be overturned, and Lamont Roach may be the winner of that fight. So all that crying that you're doing, that Tank Davis is such a great guy, that he was just trying to help him out, that doesn't matter. He still lost that fight. You could argue all you want about the good guy that Tank Davis is, and that's his little brother, and he helped him out. Lamont Roach still whooped that ass. Okay, you're saying they told you, the coaches told you, everybody told you. Well, they're also telling you that Lamont whooped that ass and you don't want to listen. You're only listening to what you want to listen. Everybody's telling you. The coaches, the fighters, the trainers are telling you Lamont whooped that ass. When are you going to listen to that? You seem to not want to listen to nothing if it doesn't favor Tank Davis. Come on, man. It's embarrassing what you're doing. It truly is embarrassing. Like, if you didn't tell me you was 50-something years old, I would have thought you was probably like 18 years old. You started watching boxing the other day. You're a Tank Davis hardcore fan. Like, I have a hard time believing that somebody in their 50s is really doing this, man. Like, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Like, you really fighting for Tank Davis's honor and ignoring the rules of boxing. Psst. Come on, man. That's why I just keep saying, yo, let the rules of boxing speak for themselves, man. Let the rules of boxing speak for themselves. Let the rules talk to you, my peoples. Ryan Jackson, let the rules speak for themselves. I know you don't give a damn about the rules because you want to defend Tank Davis no matter what. But the rules are there for a reason and they need to be followed. G-Bo, Roach looked too comfortable and confident in the ring. He was unbothered by the lights and Tank's power. You 100% right, G-Bo. And as a matter of fact, even before the fight started, you could see how Roach... Yo, Roach was actually in his dressing room, vibing, yo, listening to his music. Listening to his music. The whole time, yo, Tank Davis warming up, sweating, pausing. Because, you know, before a fight, when you're in the dressing room, you can't be warming up for an hour. You're going to be tired by the time you get to the ring. So you could see Tank Davis was warming up so ahead of time that he had to stop and rest and warm up a little bit more and rest. And, like, yo, he was just jumpy. While Lamont Roach, you could see that man listening to music in his dressing room, just chilling. And then, I don't know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes before the fight, he started warming up. Yo, Lamont Roach was on demon time. He was on demon time, my peoples. So, Ryan Jackson, you Latinos need to find y'all some fighters to talk about. Huh? Oh, now he getting into race. Oh man, you see, now I'm disappointed in you. Now you disappointed me. Now you're talking about Latino fighters and who we need to find to, like, what is you talking about? We talking boxing over here. Now you talking corny, man. These are two black kings, and what does that got to do? Like, we talking boxing. We talking about wins and losses. Nah, man, Ryan Jackson, you too corny, man. You too corny. And your next corny comment about race and about nationality, I'm removing you from here. You're getting too corny. Let's talk boxing, my brother. We talking Tank Davis, Lamont Roach, and the decision. You want to change the conversation because you don't know about boxing or because you want to be a Tank Davis fanboy? Nah. Yo, John Parham, I appreciate you giving him. He need a little timeout. He acting like a fanboy now, talking about Latinos and all this other crazy stuff. We talking boxing, my peoples. And I'm going to tell you right now, the reason I don't rock, yeah, he need that break, my brother. Good looking out. The reason I don't rock with Teofimo Lopez, I don't give a damn that he's Latino. I don't rock with him because he was talking that watermelon stuff, that banana, that monkeys. He convinced me that he a racist. I don't rock with him no more. I'm looking forward to seeing him get his ass whooped. I don't rock with him no more. I don't support him. So anybody come through with that racist stuff, you going on a timeout and then you getting blocked. We don't do those over here, my people. None of that racist stuff, we don't rock with that. I don't come here to disrespect nobody. I don't do those. And anybody want to disrespect me, you're going on a timeout because I'm not going to disrespect you back. I don't do those, my peoples. But again, the fight outcome may be overturned. We're about to find out. We're about to find out what happens. Right now, This is not coming from me, my peoples. I'm not making this up. The Athletic Commission is actually reviewing this fight because the referee did not take the right action when Tank Davis took a knee. Y'all can look it up, my peoples. So anybody who thinks that I'm capping or that I'm making this up, nah, yo. That just means you don't know me like that and you think I'm the type of person who cap, but I don't do that. I don't say nothing for views. I don't say nothing for likes. None of that, my peoples. I call it how it really is. So look at this, my peoples. In case you haven't seen the information on your own, look at it right there. The NYSAC, the Athletic Commission, confirmed, okay? They already confirmed that they're reviewing it because they were not able to take action when Tank Davis took a knee. They allowed the referee to make that judgment call, and the referee was wrong. So, look, J-Dub, what you saying, that you're making a valid point, right? Tank Davis wasn't the same fighter that night. He was going through some stuff. But we don't really know what he was going through, you know? And at the end of the day, you can't use that as an excuse. You can't use that as an excuse to take a knee. You can't use that as an excuse to turn your back on the fighter and the ref. You can't, you know, there's no excuses in boxing. We can't, you know, we're not able to pick and choose which excuse is valid and which one is it. I had somebody tell me, nah, they not gonna overturn it because Tank explained why he took a knee. Now y'all try to imagine this. Imagine if every fighter could just take a knee whenever they want to, if they got a good explanation. Yo, you know how many times a fighter, his eyes is burning because the same Vaseline that they rubbed on his face, it went in his eyes from a punch? You know how many times that happens? You got to keep fighting. You got to try to rub it. But you cannot take a knee. Imagine if every fighter could just say, oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. My eyes are burning. I had to take a knee. Let's pause this action. Yo, boxing would turn into shit. If fighters could just take a knee to pause the action and do a timeout, boxing would turn into shit. And Victor Herrera, you're right. He started the count and then he stopped. Why did he stop? He wasn't supposed to. He chose to. You're the referee. You don't follow a fighter's instruction. They follow your instructions. Politics over everything in boxing, you're right. And Tank Davis was treated like the star. You know, he's the star. This is his show. And he's going to do him. For whatever reason, the referee didn't take action. Maybe he felt the pressure like, yo, this guy's a big star. If I do something, that's going to be a problem. I might not be refereeing no more championship fights if I do something. It may have been that. J-Dub, he wasn't the same at the press conference at the end of the day. It's life outside of boxing. We don't know what he was going through. I have hair, too, and the grease can get in your eyes, and it burns. But J-Dub, let me just say this, because I had long hair, too. Yo, when you do cornrows on a Wednesday, by Saturday, that grease is dried up, my brother. There is no way grease that was put in your hair from 3 days ago is still wet and dripping down into your face. There's just no way, my brother. You gotta at least give me that. Please at least give me that one, my brother. Please give me that one. Because I had long hair for 10 years. And I always did cornrows. Very similar to the ones Tank Davis did. And when I was an amateur boxer, I did cornrows too. Very similar to those, going to the back. And as a matter of fact, as a boxer, I felt my eyes burning more than a few times. And what caused that burning, that Vaseline that they put on your face, when you get punched, it goes into the glove. And then you get punched in the eye, and that same Vaseline goes in your eyes, and that shit burns too. But bro, What is it going to sweat out? Like I told you, I box with cornrows. Dried Vaseline is not just going to get wet and drip down into your eyes like that, my brother. It's an easier thing for it to be that the Vaseline in your face goes in your eyes and that burns too. Why? Because after every round, they put in that Vaseline on you. So a couple of punches, boom, that Vaseline goes on the glove. Now you get punched in your eye, that Vaseline goes in your eye and it burns. So it's a lot easier, a lot more possible that he got Vaseline in his eyes from a punch than grease from 3 days ago dripping down into his eyes. That don't even make no sense to me. And let me just point out, Tank Davis been doing cornrows for like 5 years, my brother. In this fight, all of a sudden, he went blind and he had to take a knee. That don't even make no sense. You've been doing cornrows for 5 years. And it's like I told you, man, I just cannot be convinced that grease from 3 days ago got wet again and went down into your eyes. I just can't believe it, my brother. That dried Vaseline in your head, that thing is not going nowhere. Now, what is going somewhere is all that Vaseline in your face. It's getting put on there. It's fresh in every round. That can burn your eyes. And anybody who boxed knows, has experienced that burning sensation. But he's not going to say, well, the Vaseline, he punched me in the eye and it's burning. He's not going to say that. Oh, it was my own grease that went down. My own grease from 3 days ago went down and burned me. I don't buy that, man. I'm not buying that. And look, even if you believe that the grease from his head from 3 days ago went down into his eye, that's still not an excuse to take a knee. You cannot take a knee because you say that your eyes is burning. Nobody even believed him, yo. When he said that, the whole crowd started booing him. I want you to think about the fact that most of the people in that arena went to see Tank Davis. Most of the people that were there paid thousands of dollars that was up front, paid thousands to go see Tank Davis. And by the end of the fight, they was booing him. One of the most faithful fan base in boxing is the Tank Davis fan base. That's one of the most faithful fan base, my people. And they was booing Tank, yo. By the end of the fight, they was cheering for Lamont Roach and booing Tank. So Christian Woodfin, if Tank lose to Roach, the 4-fight deal is off the table? I mean, I don't think so. I don't think anything Tank has going on is going to be off the table simply because that loss is going to take away from that. Oh, I'm the face of boxing. Oh, I'm the best. But he's still going to be a big star. He's still going to be a cash cow. I believe Tank Davis is still going to sell a lot of pay-per-views. So, I think he's still going to make a lot of money. However, it's going to be hard to make that argument about I'm the face of boxing. I'm the best in the world. Because a guy moved up from the 135 division and put so many hands on you. So, I believe that bag will change. Tank is not going to be, he's still going to be marketable, but he's going to take a loss when it comes to that money. Now, G-Boy, you're saying Tank ain't losing the rematch? Trust. I gotta say, my brother, there is nothing to tell me that he's gonna win the rematch. We could say, well, he was going through stuff internally or in his personal life. But what we saw in that fight is that Lamont Roach has the skills to outbox Tank. What we saw in that fight is that Lamont Roach has the defensive skills to not get hit by that knockout punch. So, come on now. The face of boxing shit is over with. Oh, you damn right. Christian Woodfin, you damn right, my brother. That face of boxing shit, that's over. That's over. Ain't nobody gonna. Tank Davis is not even gonna say that no more. So Dope Nixon says, who's to say we get the same Roach in the next fight? I mean, that's who Roach been his whole career. Why should we not expect him to be? See, this is what we gotta understand, my peoples. This is what I want everybody to understand. Tank Davis and Lamont Roach, they boxed each other twice as amateurs, right? Obviously, as professionals, they developed, but they still have the same fighting style. Lamont Roach prepared for Tank Davis's fighting style. It's the same thing we saw with Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. They fought, what was it, 4 or 5 times? I think it's 4 times as amateurs. So, Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, when they went on to fight as professionals, they knew each other. Ryan Garcia knew what punch to land on Devin Haney. And that's exactly what he did. So, I'm going to tell y'all right now, if they do this rematch, my money's going to be on Lamont Roach winning. My money's going to be on Lamont Roach winning this fight. You see, you're saying it was a close fight and a bad night for Tank. But you don't know that it was a bad night for Tank. You're assuming that. It's always a bad night when you lose. You think about this, my brother. G-Bo, I want you to think about this. When we're used to seeing you knocking everybody out, beating everybody up, and you don't do that, you're not going to look the same. You couldn't do what you normally do. People never look the same when they don't do what we used to seeing them. So we say it was a bad night. Just like it was a bad night for Arrow when he got beat up. Every time an undefeated fighter take a loss, they didn't look the same. They just wasn't the same. Of course you're not the same. You got your ass whooped. You're not going to look the same. Him not looking the same, it doesn't mean that he was affected from outside things. It means that Lamont Roach was that good. That's what Lamont Roach was. You know, I'm going to say this. This is an exaggeration. Tank Davis did not get his ass whooped, but he was outboxed and he was outworked. Those two things did happen. Tank Davis, for the majority of 12 rounds, was backtracking or lateral movement. I want y'all to think about that. Am I lying? Am I lying when I say that the majority of the fight, Tank Davis was backtracking and lateral movement? Michelle Lilly, muchas gracias. Appreciate that. So, what do we have to say about that? When have we seen Tank Davis being the guy who's backtracking throughout the whole fight and using lateral movement? When have we seen that, my peoples? Lamont Roach spent 12 rounds either chasing Tank or trading with him on the inside. Ryan Jackson, the truth is coming out. You want Latino to be the face? I know where this was going. I want Latino. We're not talking about Latino fighters. What the hell are you talking about? What are you talking? Man, you're looking to get blocked out of here. Stop doing that, man. Look, you got a 10-minute timeout so you can look at yourself and see how corny you acting. You keep bringing up Latino fighters, man. Shut up. Stop. Stop doing that. So, let's consider the way that the fight played out, my peoples. Tank Davis was not able to stop Lamont Roach, which is what we seen him do over and over, stop his opponents. He wasn't able to do that. So when we look at who threw more punches, who landed more punches, that was Lamont Roach. That was Lamont Roach. Nobody said Canelo was the face of boxing. Stop making stuff up, man. Stop with the racist undertone that you're bringing up in. Nobody has said Canelo's the face of boxing. You literally made that up just now. You're really trying. Lamont Roach, if anything, Lamont Roach is the next face of boxing. Lamont Roach, does CompuBox always tell the story? Definitely not. CompuBox does not tell the story. And I'm going to tell you why. And you know what, Dope Nixon, 92? I like the fact that you asked that question. And I want to answer it for you, my brother. CompuBox does not tell the full story because this is something important to consider. CompuBox sometimes counts punches that are blocked. So you throw a big left hook, I block it, boom, and CompuBox is gonna count that as a hard punch landed. But I blocked it. It was blocked. So we can't just go by CompuBox numbers. Now, CompuBox numbers do help you add the puzzle together because I would never just use CompuBox numbers to say, oh, this guy won, this guy lost. There's no way. You don't know what you're doing if you do that. But CompuBox number is a small piece of the puzzle that you can use to put it all together. And this is what I would say. For the most part, we watched Tank Davis get chased around by Lamont Roach. That's what happened in the most fight. Lamont Roach coming forward or involved in those exchanges. Yo, shout out to everybody who hit that like button. Shout out to everybody who subscribed to the channel. I really appreciate it. Y'all already know, man. We calling it how we see it. Yo, G-Bo Roach has Tank critics crashing out. I don't know what you mean by crashing out. I mean, bringing up the rules of boxing is crashing out. Bringing up the fact that the commission is reviewing the decision to not deduct a point for the knee, that's crashing out. It's funny because Tank Davis fans, as soon as you say anything that is not in favor of Tank Davis, it's like, yo, you're hating. You're hating on Tank. You're a hater. It's like, wait a minute. How am I hating on a fighter by talking about the rules of boxing? How am I hating on a fighter by simply stating what happened in the fight? It's not up to debate whether or not Tank took a knee. It's not up to debate. Nah, G-Bo, look, when I say Roach is the next face of boxing, I'm saying that because there's a guy up in here saying that he keep bringing up Hispanics and trying to say that I'm trying to make Hispanics the face of boxing. So I'm just messing with him. Like, you know what? Lamont Roach is the face. I'm just messing with somebody who just really doesn't know what they're talking about. But at the end of the day, we all have to just say, okay, let's look at the rules and let's look at what happened. Michelle Lilly, how long do you think the review will take? I'm going to be honest with you. And I want everybody to keep this in mind. A decision is going to come soon. That review is not going to take a long time. If you remember with Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, when the whole situation came out about Ryan Garcia possibly being on PEDs, they started reviewing that, and it just took a few days. So within the next few days, we might get a decision on that review. So I ask you, my peoples, not what you want to happen. I'm not asking you what you want to happen. I'm asking you what you think is going to happen. We already know that Tank took a knee. There was no point deduction, and the fight ended in a draw. I showed y'all the rules of boxing. I showed you. There should be an automatic point deduction when a fighter takes a knee. There you have it right there, my peoples. There should be a point deduction if a fighter takes a knee. There was no point deduction, and that is under review right now. So I'm asking you what you think is going to happen. I made my prediction. I could be wrong because I'm not a psychic. However, I believe that after they review that knee closely and determine that this man did not deduct the points like he should have, I believe Lamont Roach is going to be awarded the win versus Tank Davis. He's going to get the 135-pound title and become the first man to officially beat Tank Davis. That's what I believe is going to happen. I don't think Roach really cared if it get overturned or not. I have to disagree, my brother. I have to disagree. And you know why I disagree with that statement? Because and I get your point, Christian Woodfin. He know and the whole world know what happened. But the reason I disagree is because if they overturn that decision, Lamont Roach is now a 135 division champion, a 2 division champion, and of course the first person to beat Tank Davis. He becomes, his stock is already way up. He becomes a star. Ryan Jackson, bro, I don't like y'all talking down on none of our black fighters. They talked about Shakur Crawford, Tank Spence. We're the best fighters in the world. No one come close to. Okay, that's it. Ryan Jackson, peace out. Ryan Jackson needed to be kicked out of here. He coming with some race arguments that nobody's here to make. So again, my people, yeah, he playing the race card, man. Like nobody's talking about race. Talking about I'm talking down fighters. I'm here giving Lamont Roach his flowers. I'm here saying Lamont Roach needs to be the champion. This guy's crazy. But like I was saying, yo, Lamont Roach may actually have the decision overturned in his favor, and that's what I believe is gonna happen. Now, am I right? I don't know. We're gonna find out. Because at the end of the day, Vegas always wins. So we want to see it. You see, I'm black, and that's dumb for him to say. I mean, come on. And you know what's crazy? That, okay, yeah, I'm Hispanic, but look at me. Do you see what I look like? I'm black too. I'm black too. Like, I don't know why people be having this racist mindset that, you know, Dominican is a nationality. That's my country where I'm from. But guess what? We come from Africa too. My peoples. The only difference is that your ancestors was dropped off in a different island than my ancestors. That's the only difference. We black too. What are we talking about here? Like, but again, my peoples, I digress. The bottom line is I'm looking forward to see the athletic commission do what's right. There's a lot of boxers that I'm a fan of. My favorite fighter is Terrence Bud Crawford. That's my favorite fighter. That's my number one pound for pound fighter in the world. And I love Terrence Bud Crawford because the way he carry himself. You see that Bud is the type of fighter who, even when he's not preparing for a fight, he's in the gym. He's training. You never see Terrence Crawford drinking. You never seen Terrence Crawford drunk. You never seen a fat Terrence Crawford. This guy's on his game. Just like Floyd Mayweather. Have anybody up in here ever seen a picture of a fat Floyd Mayweather? And out of shape Floyd Mayweather? You ever seen that? This guy 48 years old. He still be in the gym hitting the bags, B. So the great ones, they do a lot more than those who are really good. The great ones, they take it to a next level. John Parham, you see Bud beating Canelo? Yup. In my opinion, Terrence Bud Crawford has the tools and resources and the physical attributes to beat Canelo Alvarez. My favorite, he has on his profile, father first. I'm going to tell you, my peoples. Christian Woodfin, John, bro, I'm going with Bud, the way looking good on him. Yo, Terrence Crawford, you seen him the other day? He weighed himself, I think he weighed like 180. Psh, looking ripped. Terrence Crawford is going to be a problem. And you know what's the funny thing about Terrence Bud Crawford and Canelo Alvarez? That people saying, Crawford is too little. I'm just going to point out, my people, Terrence Crawford is taller than Canelo, so he's going to have height and reach advantages on him when they fight. What did Bivol have on Canelo? Height and reach advantages. He used those tools, those advantages, to offset Canelo's power. Dimitri Bivol is not a power puncher. He don't have a high knockout percentage. He outboxed Canelo. Floyd Mayweather's not a power puncher. He outboxed Canelo as well. And look, we just seen Lamont Roach. He's not a power puncher. He wasn't going to knock Tank out. He outboxed him. So we have to see a lot of people who feel like the power puncher's going to win. Great boxers beat power punchers all the time. All the time. Jay Will, Virgil Ortiz beat Madrimov better than Bud did. That's a fact, but that really doesn't mean anything. We know that the triangle theory doesn't work in boxing. So that really doesn't mean anything. We know that, but I'm going to remind you that on 2 separate occasions, Terrence Bud Crawford and his team sent an offer to fight Virgil Ortiz. And it was Virgil and his team that said, nah, we don't want this. 2 times they had the possibility to fight Terrence Crawford, and they chose not to. And by the way, Sanders Sayers called out Virgil Ortiz like, yo, what's up? Let's fight. We want to fight you. And Virgil Ortiz chose not to. But I do got to say, Virgil Ortiz, he's a young fighter, elite level fighter. He a monster, and he's a force to be reckoned with. He's going to be a champion. I do believe that Terrence Crawford beats him. So you're saying Bud jumping from 154 to 168 after that weak Madrimov performance is insane. You see, the thing is, and I don't know you, right, and you don't know me, but I will already say you're a Terrence Bud Crawford hater. You're probably, if I was to go on your Facebook and your Instagram, you're the guy who says, oh, he only beat Terrence Crawford because of the accident. Oh, Terrence Crawford is overrated. Like, you're talking like a Terrence Crawford hater. The guy moved up to 154, won by unanimous decision, and you're calling it a weak performance. The guy won the title, won a championship. And not only that, styles make fights. It's as simple as that. Virgil Ortiz could have knocked Madrimov out. He went the distance too. Why he didn't knock him out? So Madrimov is a very good fighter. If you give credit to Madrimov for how good he is, then you understand what a good win that was for Terrence Crawford. But instead of seeing a good win for Terrence Crawford and he winning a title in the division, you're talking about it's a weak performance. You're talking about it's a weak performance. So I'll just remind you, my brother, Canelo Alvarez is shorter than Terrence Crawford. He's the one that's at a physical disadvantage. He's the one that's known for not having great footwork. That's known for not having good movement. Even people that, remember, look at Erislandis Lara. Till this day, there's people that say he beat Canelo Alvarez. Till this day. Why? Because he had height and reach advantages, and he moved around and put them hands on him from a distance. Terrence Crawford has the height and reach advantages on him. You're going to find out. You're going to find out, my brother. My peoples, I'm about to sign off. But before I sign off, I want to say thank you to everybody who hit that like button. I want to say thank you to everybody. I see that some people subscribed today to the channel. I'm going to be live again tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Come check me out. This conversation is not over. We still got to talk about it. And by the way, if the decision from the Athletic Commission comes through, I'm going live immediately. As soon as you see on social media, anywhere, the decision came through, no matter what they decide, I'm going live and we're going to talk about that decision. Definitely, we got to talk about it. But again, my peoples, shout out to everybody who hit that like button. Jay Will, I appreciate you, my brother. Shout out to everybody who hit that like button. Shout out to everybody who subscribed. And I'm going to see you guys later on, man. I really appreciate it. I want y'all to know I do this. I never cap. I don't do videos to just get likes or to get views. I don't do clickbait stuff. Check out my content and you'll see that I do this for the love of the sport of boxing. So I appreciate all of you, my peoples. I'm going to see you later on, man. One love. Y'all already know this is your favorite boxers, favorite boxing show. I'm going to see y'all later, my peoples. One love. Thank y'all for checking in with me.